Costco employees are trained to watch for one specific thing you do with your cart. And if they catch it, you're flagged in their system immediately. That's just fact number 1 of 30 things this warehouse has been hiding from its own members. Costco's famous hot dog combo costs $1.50. Same price since 1985. That's almost 4 decades without a single penny increase. Here's the wild part. When executives suggested raising the price, co-founder Jim Sinegal looked the current CEO dead in the eyes and said, "I will kill you if you ever raise the price of that hot dog." Not a joke, not a metaphor. A genuine threat over a Frankfurter. And it worked. Costco loses money on every single hot dog sold. We're talking over 200 million combos per year across all locations. That's a lot of red ink for some processed meat and a soda. So why keep it? Because that cheap hot dog gets you through the door. Then you leave with a 70-inch TV and a lifetime supply of paper towels. The company even built their own hot dog factory in 2009 just to keep costs down. But the hot dog isn't the only thing Costco deliberately loses money on. Here's the thing about Costco's layout. It's not chaos. It's calculated confusion. Those products you swore were in aisle 5 last week? Moved. On purpose. Costco shuffles inventory around constantly, so you can't just grab what you need and leave. They want you wandering like a lost tourist in your own neighborhood grocery store. And those aisle signs you see everywhere else? Gone. Not because Costco forgot to install them. They deliberately left them out. The result? The average Costco shopper spends 40 minutes per visit. Regular grocery stores? 20 minutes. That's double the time, and double the opportunities to throw something unexpected in your cart. Milk and eggs sit at the very back. Always. You have to walk past the giant teddy bears, the seasonal decorations, and that kayak you definitely don't need. Studies show shoppers who can't find items quickly spend 20 to 30% more. But the sneaky pricing tricks? That's where things get really interesting. Kirkland's signature products are basically the retail world's worst-kept secret. That vodka everyone argues about? Multiple spirits experts claim it tastes identical to Grey Goose. Same French region. Same water source. About half the price. The batteries sitting in your junk drawer? Made by Duracell. Confirmed by way too many teardown videos. Here's where it gets wild. Kirkland olive oil has beaten bottles costing 3 times more in blind taste tests. Professional tasters. Certified panels. The cheap stuff won. And we're not talking small potatoes here. Kirkland's signature generates over $60 billion annually. That's larger than entire Fortune 500 companies. From store brand products. But good luck getting anyone to confirm who makes what. Costco forces manufacturers to sign ironclad confidentiality agreements. Legally, they cannot tell you. Some employees at these companies have reportedly been fired for even hinting at the connection. So you're paying premium prices elsewhere for the exact same product in fancier packaging. Speaking of secrets, those price tags are hiding something too. Ever seen that little asterisk on a Costco price tag? Most people ignore it completely. Huge mistake. That tiny star means the item is dying. Once it sells out, it's gone. Maybe forever. No restock coming. Costco veterans call these death stars, and they grab them immediately. No hesitation. No, I'll think about it. Just straight into the cart. Here's what makes it tricky, though. Sometimes that asterisk means your favorite discontinued snack is vanishing. Other times it's just seasonal clearance nobody wanted anyway. You won't know which until it's too late. And don't bother asking employees when it'll sell out. They genuinely have no clue. Could be tomorrow. Could be 3 weeks from now. The system doesn't tell them. My personal rule? If I see an asterisk on something I actually use, I buy it that day. Period. Learned that lesson the hard way with some maple bacon I still dream about. But asterisks aren't the only secret price codes hiding in plain sight. A few months ago, I had no idea what a health ring even was until my fiancé got me one, and I have to say, I'm shocked this isn't a widely known and used product. It tracks my stress levels, and what I found out is that some supplements made my stress score spike, while others actually helped bring it down. I adjusted a few things based on that, and honestly, I feel 10 years younger. My wife mainly uses it to track her menstrual cycles, and she is obsessed with her sleep quality score. I noticed they are currently running a limited 69% discount, but I don't know how long it will last. It's currently only $60, and it's clear this one is the best bang for your buck, with other health rings priced around $350 with less functions. They managed to price it this low because they cut out the middleman like Amazon, Walmart, etc., who drive up the price and take a big margin, ending up with the customer paying 3 to 5 times more. If you are on TV, you can check it out yourself by pausing the video and scanning the QR code with your phone camera or clicking the first link in the description of this video. Here's the thing about those $97 prices. They're basically hidden treasure sitting right in front of your face. When you see a price ending in 97, that means a store manager personally marked it down. Not corporate. Not some algorithm. An actual human being said, "This needs to go." These are the deepest discounts in the entire warehouse. And nobody advertises them. No signs, no announcements, nothing. Regular prices end in 99 or 0.89. Prices ending in 0.20 usually mean some special manufacturer deal. But 97? That's clearance gold. I've found name brand stuff marked down 60% just because the packaging changed slightly. Perfectly good product. Ridiculous price. The catch? These items hide among regular merchandise like they're in witness protection. You'll walk right past them unless you're actively hunting. Smart shoppers scan every aisle specifically looking for those .97 tags. Takes an extra 15 minutes. Saves serious cash. Now, speaking of saving money, wait until you hear what Costco pays their employees. Here's the thing about Costco employees. They're actually happy to be there. The average worker makes over $24 per hour. That's not retail wages. That's, I can actually pay my rent wages. Store managers? They're pulling in $200,000 annually with bonuses. My neighbor managed a Costco for 15 years and retired early. Meanwhile, managers at other retailers are clipping coupons just to get by. Employee turnover at Costco sits around 6%. At other retailers, 60 to 70%. People aren't just staying. They're building careers. Over 90% have company health insurance. That's almost unheard of in retail. And here's what that means for you. When you ask someone where the olive oil is, they actually know. They've worked there long enough to memorize the whole warehouse. 20-year employees aren't rare. They're everywhere. But paying workers well costs money. So how does Costco afford those famous rotisserie chickens everyone fights over? Here's the thing about those golden rotisserie chickens. Costco loses between $30 and $40 million on them every single year. Not breaks even. Loses. They sell each bird for $4.99, knowing full well it costs them more than that. Why would any company do this on purpose? Because those chickens sit at the very back of the warehouse. You literally cannot grab one without walking past electronics, clothes, that giant teddy bear you definitely don't need, and about 17 things you forgot existed until right now. Each chicken weighs at least 3 pounds. Competitors? About 2 pounds. You're getting a third more bird for less money. And here's where it gets wild. Costco got so tired of poultry suppliers controlling their costs that they built their own $450 million chicken processing plant in Nebraska. They now control everything from egg to rotisserie. 137 million chickens sold annually. That's not a loss leader. That's a membership magnet. Speaking of memberships, that card check at the entrance serves a sneakier purpose than you'd think. Here's the thing about that receipt check at the door. Most people think it's about catching shoplifters. It's not. Those checkers are actually hunting for cashier mistakes. Costco figured out that scanning errors happen constantly with bulk items. Someone buys 3 cases of paper towels. Cashier scans 1. Now you're accidentally stealing 2 cases without knowing it. The company claims these checks save members money by catching overcharges too. Miss a discount? They'll spot it. And that highlighter mark they scribble on your receipt? Different marks mean different things to loss prevention. A simple slash means all clear. Other marks? Red flags for security. Now technically, you're not legally required to show your receipt, but refusing gets your membership flagged faster than my uncle flags down the sample cart lady. The whole process takes under 10 seconds for most carts. Trained checkers count high-value items at a glance. But those price tag endings we talked about? There's another code hiding in plain sight. Here's the thing about that receipt check. You probably think they're looking for stolen TVs hidden under your paper towels. Nope. They're actually hunting for cashier mistakes that cost you money. Overcharges happen. Missed discounts happen. That quick glance catches errors before you drive home and realize you paid twice for the same case of water. Now here's something interesting. That marker they swipe across your receipt? Different marks mean different things to loss prevention. A simple check mark might mean all clear. Other marks? Those flag something for security to review later. And legally speaking, you don't have to show your receipt. It's technically voluntary, but refuse enough times, and your membership gets flagged. Costco remembers everything. The wild part? Checkers are trained to do all this in under 10 seconds. They're scanning item counts, checking high-value products, and marking codes faster than you can say bulk toilet paper. But those receipt checkers aren't the only gatekeepers. Here's the thing about getting your product into Costco. It's harder than getting into Harvard. Costco stocks around 4,000 items. Your average supermarket? 30,000 or more. Do the math. About 90% of products that apply get flat-out rejected. And we're not talking about small brands begging for shelf space. Major companies get told no all the time. Why? Because Costco caps their markup at 14 to 15%. Most retailers mark up 25 to 50%. If a brand won't play ball on pricing, they're out. But here's what's wild. Having fewer choices actually makes people buy more. Sounds backwards, right? When you're not staring at 47 different mustard options, you just grab one and keep moving. Less decision fatigue means faster purchases. Every single product gets taste tested, price compared, and evaluated before approval. The buyers are ruthless. But those strict margins? They create another problem entirely. One that involves a service most members have never heard of. Here's the thing about Costco food courts. They almost didn't exist. Former CEO Craig Jelinek looked at the numbers and thought, why are we running restaurants that barely break even? The man had a point. Real estate inside a warehouse is valuable. Every square foot dedicated to pizza ovens is a square foot not selling TVs. But the board shut that idea down fast. Turns out, people literally pay $60 a year just to eat cheap hot dogs and pizza. That's wild when you think about it. The food court drives membership renewals like nothing else. And we're not talking small numbers here. Over 100 million customers hit those food courts annually. 100 million. The pizza dough? Made fresh every single morning. Not frozen. Not shipped in. Fresh. Oh, and that chicken bake you love? It packs more calories than a Big Mac, large fries, and large Coke combined. Delicious heart attack in foil. Speaking of memberships and money, here's the thing about that executive membership upgrade. Costco charges you $65 more per year. In return, you get 2% back on everything you buy. Sounds great until you do the math. You need to spend $3,250 annually just to break even. That's about $270 a month. Every month. Without fail. Now here's what surprised me. Almost half of all Costco members are executive members. 45% of people paying that premium. But wait, if you don't hit that break-even point, Costco actually refunds you the difference at renewal time. They'll literally give you money back if the upgrade didn't pay off. What retailer does that? The wild part? Executive members account for 73% of all Costco sales. Nearly 3/4 of revenue comes from less than half the members. There's also a cap. 2% back maxes out at $1,250 yearly. Spend over $62,500? You're getting nothing extra. Speaking of getting something extra, Costco's return policy is borderline insane. Here's the thing about Costco's return policy. It's basically a handshake agreement that says, "We trust you won't be a jerk." You can return almost anything. Anytime. No receipt needed. Their system tracks every purchase you've ever made, so showing up empty-handed isn't a problem. People have returned Christmas trees in January, swimming pools when summer ended, mattresses they slept on for a decade. Yeah, a decade. Now, electronics get a 90-day window. That's the one exception. But everything else? Fair game. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Costco watches. They've actually banned members who abuse the system. Buy a fancy camera for your kid's graduation. Return it Monday? They're tracking that pattern. Some folks treat it like a free rental service. Costco knows exactly who they are. So why offer such a generous policy? Because the loyalty it builds saves them more money than the returns cost. Speaking of saving money, their tire center operates on a completely different level. Here's the thing about Costco's tire center that nobody talks about. Those prices you see? Usually 10 to 20% below what competitors charge. But that's not even the good part. When you buy tires at Costco, you're getting lifetime services thrown in for free. Rotations, flat repairs, nitrogen fills, all included until those tires are completely worn out. My buddy bought tires somewhere else to save $40. Then spent $200 on services over 3 years. Brilliant move, right? Now, fair warning. Walk-ins can mean 2 to 3 hour waits. Book online unless you enjoy watching people buy 48 rolls of toilet paper for entertainment. And here's what separates Costco from those quick lube tire shops. They don't carry cheap off-brands. Only top-tier stuff. No pushy upselling either because they make money on volume, not convincing you that your perfectly fine tires need replacing. The margins are razor-thin deliberately. It's all about membership value. Speaking of value, nobody expects. Here's something most people have no clue about. You don't need a Costco membership to use their pharmacy. Seriously. By law, in most states, they can't restrict pharmacy access to members only. Just walk right in. No card. No awkward conversation. Fill your prescription at Costco prices. And those prices? Often 50% cheaper than major pharmacy chains. That's not a typo. Half price. Costco caps their markup on prescription drugs at 15% above cost. Meanwhile, other pharmacies are out here charging whatever they feel like. There's even a discount program non-members can use. No annual fee required. Now here's the funny part. Costco doesn't exactly advertise this. They'd rather you just become a member. Makes sense, right? But for people without insurance or with high deductibles, this loophole saves real money. Like hundreds of dollars a year kind of money. My neighbor found out about this accidentally and nearly cried at the savings. But the pharmacy isn't the only thing you can access without membership. Here's the thing most people don't realize. In 14 states, you can walk into Costco without a membership and buy all the alcohol you want. California, Texas, New York, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Indiana, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, and Vermont. State laws in these places say warehouse clubs can't restrict alcohol sales to members only. So what does Costco do? Some stores have separate entrances just for liquor buyers. No membership check, no card scan. Just walk in, grab your bottles, and leave. And the prices? 20 to 40% cheaper than your local liquor store. Here's where it gets interesting. That Kirkland vodka everyone raves about, rumored to come from the same French distilleries as premium brands costing 3 times more. Same liquid, different label. Costco ranks as one of the largest wine retailers in the entire country. Millions of people pay $60 a year for membership when they could have been buying booze there for free this whole time. Speaking of free services, most members miss. Here's the thing about Costco's bakery that nobody tells you. You can order custom cakes without paying those ridiculous decorating fees other places charge. A half-sheet cake feeds 48 people and costs less than a quarter of what grocery store bakeries want. That's not a typo. Want a custom message? Just ask at the counter. Free. No upcharge, no specialty fee, no nonsense. And those croissants? Baked fresh before the store even opens. Same with the muffins. While you're still hitting snooze, someone's pulling warm pastries out of industrial ovens. But here's a trick most people miss. You can request items that aren't on display. They often have extras in the back that never made it to the shelf. Just ask. Now, the bakery section generates some of the highest profit margins in the entire warehouse, which seems weird for a place obsessed with low prices, but if you think that's surprising, wait until you hear what's happening in the optical department. Here's the thing about glasses. Most people assume fancy optical shops charge more because they're better. Nope. They charge more because they can. Costco Optical runs eye exams for $80 to $100. Try getting that at a standalone optometrist. You're looking at $200 minimum, sometimes more. And here's a sneaky detail most shoppers miss. You don't actually need a membership for the eye exam. The optical department operates independently. Wild, right? But the real savings come after the exam. Frames and lenses together at Costco often cost less than just lenses at those mall eyewear stores. Same premium coatings, same materials, half the price. Contact lens wearers. Listen up. Costco guarantees they'll match or beat online retailers. Every time. The staff? Licensed opticians with identical credentials to the people at boutique shops, charging 3 times more. Your eyes deserve quality. Your wallet deserves a break. Costco delivers both. Now, speaking of services hiding in plain sight. Here's the thing about those sample stations. They're not just being nice. Free samples increase sales of sampled products by 2,000% on sampling days. That's not a typo. 2,000%. Those friendly folks handing out tiny cups of cheese? They're typically third-party employees, not actual Costco staff. Costco outsources the whole operation, spending millions annually on the sampling program. Why? Because the return on investment is absolutely enormous. Saturday and Sunday between 11 and 2 is prime sample time. Weekdays? Fewer stations. Sadder experience. I've planned entire lunches around weekend sample runs. Don't judge me. But here's what most people miss. Products that sample well get better shelf placement in future store layouts. The vendors actually track exactly how many samples they give versus how many products sell afterward. So, while you're enjoying free teriyaki chicken, you're also participating in a billion-dollar research experiment. Speaking of clever money strategies, gift cards might be the most overlooked deal in the whole warehouse. Here's the thing about Costco gift cards that most people completely miss. You're not just buying gift cards, you're buying free money. $100 worth of restaurant gift cards? That'll run you $79.99. Sometimes less. You're literally getting handed $20 for doing nothing except walking down an aisle. Movie theater bundles save families $30 per trip. Date night just got a discount. But here's what makes this even better. The restaurant chains actually negotiate these deals themselves. They want your traffic. Costco isn't losing a penny. The restaurants absorb the difference to get you through their doors. Smart shoppers check the gift card section every single visit. Why? Because these deals rotate constantly. That steakhouse bundle you saw last week? Gone. New ones pop up without warning. And near the holidays? Forget about it. These things vanish faster than free samples on a Saturday. Speaking of things Costco controls behind the scenes, here's the thing about those rotisserie chickens we talked about earlier. Costco didn't just complain about rising poultry costs, they went full farmer. The company dropped $450 million on Lincoln Premium Poultry in Nebraska. That's not a typo. Nearly $500 million just to raise their own birds. Why go this extreme? Control. When chicken prices spiked during shortages, competitors scrambled. Costco members barely noticed. Same price, same chicken. No drama. The facility processes 2 million chickens weekly at full capacity. From egg to rotisserie in one company's hands. Most grocery chains can't even get their produce deliveries coordinated. But here's what surprised me. Part of this move was ethical. Costco wanted to personally verify humane conditions rather than trust third-party suppliers with fancy certifications. A warehouse store with a conscience and a chicken empire? My grandfather would have called that putting your money where your beak is. Speaking of Costco's power players, wait until you hear about their wine buyer. Here's the thing about buying wine at Costco. You might grab a bottle, love it, come back next week, and it's gone forever. That's not bad luck. That's the business model. Costco rotates wine constantly. And I mean constantly. What's on the shelf today might vanish tomorrow and never return. Why? Because wineries create exclusive labels just for Costco at rock-bottom prices. Limited batches, once they're sold, that's it. But here's where it gets interesting. Kirkland signature wines have beaten bottles costing 4 times as much in blind taste competitions. 4 times. Professional sommeliers couldn't tell the difference. The former Costco wine buyer, Annette Alvarez-Peters, was basically a celebrity in the wine world. One thumbs up from her could make a vineyard's entire year. One rejection could crush them. Costco moves more wine than any other retailer in America. By volume, nobody comes close. So if you spot something good, grab it immediately. But cheap wine isn't the only hidden service most members completely ignore. Here's something most Costco members never discover. Costco Concierge. It's free, and it comes with every electronics purchase. Buy a TV? Free tech support. New laptop? They'll walk you through setup. Smart home devices acting dumb? Call the concierge. This isn't some basic FAQ line either. Real humans answer. Real help happens. No 3-hour hold times while elevator music slowly drives you insane. The best part? It extends beyond manufacturer support periods. So when Samsung says, "Sorry, can't help you," Costco says, "Let's figure this out." I've used it twice. Once for a printer that refused to connect to Wi-Fi. The other time for a TV that kept flickering. Both times? Problem solved in under 15 minutes. Yet most members have zero clue this exists. Costco buries it deep on their website like they're embarrassed about being helpful. For anyone buying major electronics, this service alone justifies the membership fee. But speaking of hidden value, wait until you hear about their travel packages. Here's the thing about Costco travel that nobody talks about. You can book the exact same resort, same dates, same room type on Expedia or Kayak, and then book it through Costco. The difference? $200 to $500. Sometimes more. But wait, it gets better. Costco packages often throw in resort credits, free breakfast, and room upgrades that aren't even listed on regular booking sites. I once got a $100 spa credit just for booking through them. Didn't ask for it. Just showed up in my confirmation email. Executive members? They get 2% cash back on travel purchases too. That's basically getting paid to vacation. Rental cars are another hidden gem. Costco includes insurance that other sites charge $30 to $50 extra for daily. Theme park tickets come bundled with perks you literally cannot get buying directly from the park. Why? Costco negotiates deals nobody else can touch. But speaking of things Costco disrupted, wait until you hear about their hearing aid situation. Here's the thing about hearing aids that nobody talks about. The traditional hearing aid industry has been ripping people off for decades. We're talking $4,000, $5,000, sometimes $6,000 for a pair. That's a used car for something smaller than a jelly bean. Then Costco walked in and basically said, "Nah, we're doing this differently." They sell the exact same quality hearing aids, name brands like Phonak, manufactured by Sonova, for 50 to 60% less. Same technology, same features, fraction of the price. The industry threw an absolute fit when Costco entered the market. Why? Because suddenly everyone could see how ridiculous the markups had been all along. And get this, hearing tests at Costco are completely free. No pressure to buy, no sales tactics. Just walk in, get tested, leave if you want. Follow-up adjustments? Also free. Fittings? Free. But cheap prices aren't the only psychological game Costco plays. Here's the thing about bulk buying that nobody wants to admit. Studies show 20% of bulk food purchases end up in the trash. Gone. Wasted. That giant bag of spinach turned to mush before you touched it. The 12-pack of yogurt, half expired in the back of your fridge. The low price per unit math looks brilliant on paper. But your brain conveniently ignores one variable. Will you actually use it all? Small households get crushed here. That 5-pound bag of avocados isn't a deal when 3 go brown. The jumbo mayo jar isn't savings when it separates before you're halfway through. Now, non-perishables? Different story. Toilet paper doesn't expire. Detergent won't go bad. Those are genuine wins. The real hack? Buy a chest freezer. Suddenly those bulk meat deals become actual long-term savings instead of a race against spoilage. But employees? They've figured out tricks that take this even further. Here's a little insider secret most shoppers never realize. Costco employees can see those asterisk items, the discontinued stuff, before it even hits the sales floor. They shop during closed hours. And yeah, they grab the best clearance deals before you even park your car. Now, before you get mad, there's a catch. Employees can't buy limited quantity items until members have had a fair shot at them, so it's not totally rigged. But here's where it gets interesting. Many Costco workers are themselves obsessed Costco fans. They know every pricing trick in the book, every secret code, every hidden deal. And most of them, happy to share, ask nicely, and an employee might tell you which items are headed for clearance next week. Build a friendly relationship with the staff, and you've basically got a personal shopping informant. It's like having a friend on the inside of a casino, except the casino sells toilet paper and rotisserie chicken. Speaking of gaming the system, those self-checkout lanes might not be saving you time. Here's the thing about self-checkout at Costco. It's a trap. You see those shorter lines and think you've outsmarted the system. But then you're scanning a 48-pack of toilet paper that won't fit on the scale. The barcode on your rotisserie chicken is smeared with grease. And that wine bottle? Now you're waiting for an employee anyway. For small runs, sure, self-checkout works great. Grab 3 items, scan, done. But full carts? Regular lanes actually move faster because cashiers know the weight workarounds. They've scanned 10,000 rotisserie chickens. You've scanned maybe 12. Also, you have to insert your membership card before anything else. Most stores let you pay however you want. Costco makes you prove you belong first. The company actually resisted self-checkout for years. Why? Because those brief cashier interactions build loyalty. Hard to have a pleasant exchange with a machine yelling about unexpected items. But speaking of psychological tactics, Costco's pricing tricks go way deeper than checkout lanes. Costco wants you to believe you're in some no-frills warehouse where everything's a bargain. But they're playing mind games with you the entire time. Those dim lights in certain sections, completely intentional, creates that discount basement vibe that makes your brain think you're getting deals. Classic Retail Psychology 101. The concrete floors and exposed metal shelving scream, "We don't waste money on fancy decor." And you fall for it. Meanwhile, Costco's profit margins are carefully calculated down to the penny. Here's the sneaky part. Products stacked on pallets instead of shelves create artificial urgency. Looks temporary. Looks like it might disappear tomorrow. Your brain panics and throws it in the cart. Those massive carts? Not designed for convenience. They're designed to make your purchases look small. 50 items in a giant cart barely fills it up. Even the lack of bags reinforces the warehouse illusion. But the store layout itself might be the biggest trick of all. Costco warehouses follow what's called a racetrack layout. Basically, one giant loop that forces you past everything before you reach what you actually came for. Electronics and seasonal stuff? Right at the entrance where you're freshest and most likely to impulse buy. Milk, eggs, and the pharmacy? Shoved all the way in the back like they're hiding from you. And here's the clever bit. There are no aisle signs. Most stores practically hold your hand with directions. Costco? They want you lost. Wandering. Discovering that inflatable kayak you definitely don't need. The average grocery trip takes 20 minutes. Costco trips? 40 minutes minimum. That's not an accident. Every extra minute you spend in there is another chance to toss something unexpected in your cart. It's like a casino without clocks. Except instead of gambling your paycheck, you're buying a 72-pack of granola bars and wondering how you got here.